Hey guys, Big Todd coming to you from the back porch again. Today, guys, we have another tabletop gun review for you, and today is one of my favorites. Yep, that's right, a Kimber. Hang with me and let's check it out. All right, guys, Big Todd back with you here. And guys, today we are going to have a tabletop review on the Kimber Ultra Carry II. And I'm going to tell you what, right off the bat, this is one of my favorite guns. So let me leave that with you. But let's go ahead and we'll go over this gun, and hopefully we'll learn something today. Before we get started, guys, do me a favor. I know you just saw that animation, so go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, and share. It sure helps the channel, and it really doesn't take any effort on your part. So smash that thumbs up button. We appreciate it. All right, so like I said, today is the Kimber Ultra Carry II. And as we go through this pistol today, I want to have you guys be thinking about some questions, and I want you to give me your thoughts in the comments. I want you to think about, would you carry a 1911 style pistol as your concealed carry option? I want you to think about Kimber's 1911s. They don't field strip like true 1911s do. Do you consider them true 1911s anyways? And what are your thoughts on the Kimber 1911s, just general and overall? And also, guys, I want to ask you, what are some other pistols you'd like to see me do a tabletop review on? All right, if you leave those questions for me, I'll get back to you in the comments, and we'll be doing great. Okay, guys, so here we go. First thing we're going to do is let's get this stand out of the way a little bit. And let's go ahead and show you. We have an empty magazine, and we have an empty chamber. Nothing in there. All right, so a little history on the manufacturer. Kimber Manufacturing was founded in 1979 in Oregon by Jack and his son Greg Warren, I think is how you pronounce it. It's W-A-R-N-E. Initially, they started out building a strong reputation for making high-quality 22 caliber sporting rifles. They focused on traditional craftsmanship and precision engineering, and that's what made their 22 so great. But in the late 80s and early 90s, the company faced a lot of significant financial struggles. And after a stock offering didn't cover the cost of a rifle they were developing called the M89BG, which stood for Big Game Rifle, they eventually filed for bankruptcy. And in the mid 1990s, Kimber did make a comeback though. And after the original company assets were all liquidated, the son, Greg Warren, found financial backing, and he moved the operations to New York, and he reestablished the business as Kimber of America. The new Kimber of America, boy, I just like saying that, you know, Kimber of America. It just sounds good, right? But anyways, the new company focused heavily on the M1911 style pistols, and it quickly became a major player known for accuracy and custom options in the 1911 realm. Kimber of America then expanded its products line to include centerfire rifles, revolvers, and its first polymer frame pistol, the R7 Mako. Kimber firearms are used by various law enforcement like the LAPD SWAT military units and members of the U.S. Marine Corps assigned to the Central Command. Recently, Kimber announced they were moving to a new state-of-the-art facility located in Troy, Alabama, Roll Tide. The new location is more business-friendly in this political climate than New York, especially for firearms manufacturers. And today, Kimber remains recognized as a leading manufacturer of premium American-made firearms because of their commitment to the quality materials and the precision manufacturing. All right, so enough about the company. Let's dive right into this pistol. So again, today we're looking at the Kimber Ultra Carry II, which is a lightweight, compact 1911 style pistol. And it's designed for concealed carry. The Ultra Carry II is part of the II series family of pistols, and that means it's a second generation Kimber 1911 handgun. With the primary difference being it features a Schwartz style internal firing pin safety, which is designed to prevent the gun from firing if it's dropped unless the grip safety is pushed down. If the grip safety is pushed down, it will fire. The Ultra Carry series was developed specifically to meet the demands of concealed carry holders and self-defense enthusiasts. They emphasized reducing the overall size of the gun to make it lighter and without sacrificing any of the magazine capacity or firepower. Nowadays, many would say that a 7+1 isn't enough rounds for a good self-defense gun. With all the 2011s on the market, with their double stack packed magazines and 9mm. But I know there are plenty of Sergeant Major Plumleys, as portrayed in the movie We Were Soldiers, out there that hold tight and find no need for any other weapon than the 1911 pistol. Okay, guys, so here's a quick rundown of the Kimber Ultra Carry II. Obviously, the make is Kimber of America. The model is the Ultra Carry II that I think I've said like 20 times already. It is hammer fired. It's chambered in 45 ACP. It's a single action, and it holds seven rounds in the magazine and 1 in the chamber. So it's a 7+1. The barrel length is 3 inches, and it doesn't have any cutout to mount optics. It does have the standard 1911 grips, and these are considered the black synthetic. The frame is an aluminum with a satin finish, and the slide is stainless steel with a satin silver finish. And to talk about the barrel a little bit more, it's a 3-inch, and we're going to get to details on the barrel a little bit later, but it has a 3-inch stainless steel bushingless bull match grade barrel that apparently delivers great accuracy. And I say apparently because, I'm not the best shooter in the world, so other better shooters out there say that it delivers great accuracy. It does feature a full beaver tail to keep your hand from sliding up and getting bit by the hammer of the action there, or the action of the hammer, sorry. Let's go over the dimensions of this pistol. The overall length is 6.8 inches. The overall height is 4.75 inches. And the grip width is around about 1.25 inches, maybe a little bit less than that. The frame thickness is 1.28 inches. And the overall weight unloaded is 25 ounces, which is slightly over 1.5 pounds. Now let's talk about the sights. As far as sights go, these are low-profile fixed sights with a sight radius of about 4.8 inches. And the sights are rounded and kind of rounded off to lend itself better for concealed carry. Now the safeties on the Ultra Carry II, it has 3 safeties. Number 1, the Schwartz style internal firing pin safety that I mentioned earlier, which keeps the gun from firing in case it's dropped. It has a thumb safety like all 1911s are famous for, and that's also rounded off. And it has a bumped beaver tail grip safety like most 1911s have. And I say most because there are some out there that don't have the grip. Some 1911s don't have the grip safety. But both the thumb and grip safety have been rounded and blended to make this gun a little easier to conceal. And it helps the gun from snagging on clothing or things like that while it's being drawn from its carry holster. Best of all, with the thumb and the grip safety, it makes this carry gun easy and safe to carry in the cocked and locked position with a round in the chamber. Now, I know there is a huge debate out there among gun folks about carrying with a round in the chamber versus carrying a round not in the chamber. I'm not here to debate that. I'll let you guys on the intranet debate that. But I will tell you that I choose to always carry with a round in the chamber. Seconds are precious when push comes to shove. So let's talk about the trigger now. We have a match grade aluminum trigger with a factory setting of approximately 4 to 5 pounds. The trigger has a crisp, clean, single action, which eliminates the long, heavy trigger pull. So let's make sure it's empty again. I'll show you again. Magazine's empty. Chamber's empty. But I'll show you. It's already cocked. Safety's off. So I'll show you guys. That's it. That's the take up. And then very little pressure. See? Take up. nice and crisp. So let's just do this now. And that's the reset. I hope you guys could hear that. That's it. Not a long reset either. So I mentioned earlier about the grips. The grips are composite and they almost feel like a rubber type grip. And they say they're composite. I don't know. They feel like rubber to me. I don't see what you guys think. I know you can't feel it, but it feels and looks like rubber to me. I do know this. It allows for a great purchase on the gun. The grip is shorter than a normal conventional 1911, but it still fits really good in my hand. So, primary uses of the pistol. What was this pistol developed for? Well, the Ultra Carry II was developed for concealed carry. We can see that in the smaller frame, the low profile sights, the rounded and blended edges, and the bevel. It does have a slight bevel on the magazine well. I'll show you guys that. Slight bevel on that magazine well there. It's also designed for personal defense. And I'm going to throw in target shooting because I'm going to tell you what, guys, this is a great shooter. Even with the 45 ACP, it is a pleasure to shoot. There's word on the street out there that YouTube does not allow for field stripping of guns and disassembly and reassembly of guns. But I see plenty of videos on YouTube of people doing it. So I'm not sure what's correct. As you know, I haven't done many of these gun reviews and I'm just kind of getting into it. So since I don't know what's correct yet, I'm going to go ahead and forego showing you how to field strip this, but I am going to talk about it and I am going to show you the internals. So the one thing I don't like about this is having to field strip this thing is Kimber recommends that they send a little tool. It almost looks like a little bitty Allen wrench. And I don't know if you guys can see, there's a little hole right down in there. Right down in there. And that the short end of the Allen wrench going there and the long end would go way out here. And then you would keep that as you disassembled this and took the slide off. I didn't like that. I don't think it's practical. Chances are if you need to field strip this bad boy, you're not going to have that really small, easily lost, easily breakable tool with you. So I did some research on YouTube and I found a way to go ahead and field strip it without the tool. I'm going to let you guys go and look that up and figure out how to do that. It's very easy. It breaks down like most other guns do. So I'm going to let you guys do that, and I'm going to field strip this bad boy off camera, and then we'll come back and talk about the internals. All right, guys, so we have it all taken apart here, and I'll show you first the stainless steel slide. And you can see the lugs on the barrel here, and you can see, where these lugs match up on the slide in here and where it locks in. And I'm going to tell you, there's no tooling marks in here, guys. This thing looks great. It really does. Look at that big, beefy ejector. This thing just looks really, really nice. Good craftsmanship. We have a full-length guide rod, two-piece guide rod. I will give you a tip. When you're putting this back together, and maybe this is why they use the Allen wrench, make sure that this spring is pointing down when you put it back in the cup or in the bushing there. Here's our aluminum frame. And again, it's got a little wear because I've shot it a lot. But, again, it looks really, really good. High quality craftsmanship. And then here's the barrel with its polished feed ramp and its locking lugs. Match grade bull barrel. All right, guys, I'm going to go back off camera and put this thing back together, and then we'll come back. All right, guys, we finally got her together, and I'm going to tell you what, watch those instructions carefully. Now I know why they have the tool for it, but it can be done without the tool. I promise you. I did it. There's just a little trick that you have to learn. Just kind of put the spring into the bushing and push the spring all the way through and then slide the whole thing in. Seemed to work for me. after trying other things and not being able to find my tool. Where can I get one? The Kimber Ultra Carry is still in production, and you can find them today. I found them, and they ranged in pricing anywhere from $750 to $1,500, and that depends on the finish and the caliber that you want. This exact one right here, I think is around $750, maybe a little bit higher that I saw. Overall impressions of the pistol, my likes. I have always been in love with the 1911 style pistol. In fact, my dad has a 1911 that his stepfather carried in the military, and I want to get that from him and do a review on that because that is the true 1911. I love the look, I love the feel, and I love the innovation by John Browning to develop this pistol that has really stood the test of time. This gun is a great shooter. I would say it's probably the top two of the best shooting guns that I own. I absolutely love the 45 ACP caliber. It's a big bullet and it's a slow bullet, but it has stopping power. Now, this model does come in 9mm. I know some people like that as well in the 1911 configuration. Okay, let's get to the dislikes. Really, the only dislike I have about this pistol, like I couldn't show you thanks to YouTube, but how the gun field strips is not great. You really have to have that thin Allen wrench piece of metal. It makes it much easier. Now that I know the trick, maybe it would be easier without it, but I just don't like the way they designed that. It's not great. It's kind of a pain in the butt. So guys, that's really the only dislikes I have of the Kimber Ultra Carry II in stainless. I really like this gun. This one was made in Yonkers, New York, by the way. But let me know in the comments, do you prefer to carry 45 ACP or you prefer to carry 9mm as your concealed carry cartridge of choice? Guys, I want to take a second and thank you for watching these videos. I sure do appreciate it, and I hope you learned something as I learned something with these videos. I really enjoy doing them, and I think they're great educational. I just find guns fascinating, and finding the history and learning the history and what they're developed for and all that stuff just really, I think, is awesome information, and I just want to share it with the community. So if you would, please do me a favor. Like, subscribe, comment, and share this video with your friends. It doesn't really cost you anything. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button and hit that thumbs up button, and it does me a world of good. It helps the algorithm out. So that would be great. We can maybe hopefully grow this channel to be much bigger than it is today. But anyways, like I said, I hope you learned something. I know I did. And guys, have a great day.